Greetings everyone, here's Ludwig and this is the game this is the game The Great War Western Front. A new game just come out the day before, so 30th March 2023. And this is a game about the First World War, so the Great War, and only the Western Front part. And it's more or less split in two segments, like you have the overall strategic map where you in hex, like Panzergeneral, and there you command in turn-based your units, and you must try to improve your situation and manage supplies, A&D, and some very simple budget system like this. And also you can try to spy and prevent this on enemy positions like this. This is all turn-based, you have all the time. And the real fighting is real-time strategy. This is, I think, from the same group. They're making also the, I think, CNC Generals, I think, and so some other games. So they have more or less, I think, some experience with this kind of games. I tried to play it the last one day, I think. I learned something, I make some mistakes because you will not understand this completely. A new game always have new mechanics and new rules. So I will play this now. It's a German campaign because why I would touch ever the Entente, the evil French, and the British. They always try to mess up with the Germans, the corrupt. And we have only Western part, so it's really there's no choice with the Russians or Austrians. Good. And you have normally more or less two options. You can. This is American. This is only a demo. Here, explain you everything. Then you have the allies, but no, they're not allies. I think they are Entente. They only called allies in the Second World War. Entente is of course French, and I mean maybe in the British they call it allies, but I think everyone called in the First World War everyone Entente and not allies. Anyway, the Central Powers. This is true. Then you have the option you can start in 14 or in 16, and then you can say how I think the difficult level. But I'm not really sure if they tell you what is the change. I played in Soldier. This is a normal difficulty, and I think it's still okay. The game is still new, and I think for sure they will have some patches. They had the one-day patch, but more or less the game is okay. The AI is working. The balance is so far okay. We will see how this will progress in the future. I think everything else I can explain maybe at the game directly. So we start here in December 14, so it means the rush is already over. There's no option to play the rush because this would be a complete other game. At the beginning everyone push forward, push forward, push forward, but the First World War is famous and more for this static inch by inch battle and not the fast movement. Good.
With the death of the Archduke, Europe is propelled into chaos. Nations honoring treaties and alliances forged years before are now plunged into a conflict they cannot avoid, sparked by a single gunshot. Here on the Western Front, nations draw their battle lines. The Central Powers of Austria-Hungary and Germany now face the combined alliance of France, Britain, and their colonies. The Great War is about to begin.
Melde Gehorsamst! Die russische Zweite Armee wurde bei Tannenberg umfassend zurückgeschlagen. Aber ihre Truppen wurden schneller mobilisiert, als wir es erwartet hatten.
Und was ist mit unserem Vormarsch durch Belgien?
Aus Belgien wird erheblicher Widerstand gemeldet und das britische Expeditionsheer ist nunmehr in den Konflikt eingetreten. Unsere Befähigung, die Westfront zu überrennen, wurde ein wenig eingeschränkt, aber ich bin zuversichtlich, dass...
Paris?
Bei unserem Durchbruch an der Marne erleiden wir schwere Verluste. Unsere Befehlshaber vor Ort sind versprengt. Von Kluck hat sich mit seinem Armeeverband auf das Nordufer der N zurückgezogen und baut dort Stellungen aus, damit wir uns für einen Großangriff auf Frankreich sammeln können.
Russland im Osten, Großbritannien und Frankreich im Westen. Alle graben sich ein. Wir müssen wachsam bleiben.
Thus the Western Front was established. From the fields of Flanders to the borders of Switzerland, the great nations would make their stand. The fate of millions was now in the hands of a few.
Good. So, I mean, everyone, or most people know the situation, that the Germans try to outflank the French, British troops, Belgian troops, and capture Paris, and then take the French main defense line from behind. And this failed simply by, I would say, by logistic. Most German militaries, generals in First World War and Second World War, they always neglect logistic, because you can always throw on paper so many divisions and armies in one spot you want, but in reality logistic will always break down, and you can have 1 million people in one area, but if you don't bring in enough supplies and ammunition, then this will all not work. And this game also have a kind of simulation for this kind of logistic, but we will see this first. Anyway, at the end the Germans failed. Of course the Germans also failed because the British entered this war for no reasons, because we all know that the British only try to keep their first place in Europe and nothing else. They don't really help the French because they want help, but yeah, this is another story. Anyway, and so far there's also really only Western Front, so I think there is no, so far I saw there was no activity from the East Front. But there are sometimes, every turn is 1 month, and every month you get some information. Sometimes they have a benefit for you, sometimes they cost you morale or gold or whatever, and we will see how this have impact. The map looks not super good, but I think you can understand it. This is the front line. This is Belgium. Ghent, the famous German submarine port, is here, where all of the German subs going for England and making the blockade. And this is now the front line in December 1914. And this map will change with the time. Of course, this is now winter time, so in the north it's muddy, dirty, and more in South Germany, French, it's all snowing, icy. Very easy to say, this is a very static game and war, so you have every hex, and every hex have more or less hit points, and a hit point is a star. If you want to conquer a hex, at the end you must have 3 victories. So if I want to take this hex, I must have 3 victories to take over the hex. Once I take the hex, I have 1 star, and then every turn there's no major attack on this hex, I can rebuild a star. So this is more or less to keep it very simple. So you can see that most hexes, they have different kind of stars. Maybe this is related to how important they are or other reasons. This hex is, here's 1 hex with a star missing, so if there's no attack on this hex coming next turn, then this will be back to 4. If you want parentheses, like here, then you must normally attack them. So it means that hex is more or less busy, and there was a fight, and because there's a fight, then you cannot rebuild your defense. I think this is a system behind this rule. Yeah, then to keep it, you have, of course, here's the front line, and there's the Entente forces. I don't have here any big information about it. I only know there are 2 corps. This is normally already enough. There are more or less normal troops and elite troops. And the Germans have 3 kind of troops. They have conscripts, These are weaker units. I think these are these guys. They have normal troops. These are elite troops, and then you have normal troops. And I think the British, they have another unit for this. They also maybe they have also cheaper troops, but I think this is only Germans. I think the Germans have only these cheap troops and normal troops and elite troops. And the French, they have, I think, light tanks. I think the Germans, they don't have light tanks. They have only battle tanks. But this is in the future. So, and there's also some bonus, but this is all very small stuff and not so important. The goal is at the end, defend your own hexes and try to overcome the defense of the enemy. But you can see already has so many stars, at least 2 stars. I think there's nothing with only 1 star. And the next problem is, this makes this game a little slow, is you not only must win some part, you must completely kick out the enemy from the map. So you only, if you achieve a total victory, you can destroy 1 star. A total victory is not take over the hex. A total victory is really only killing 1 star. Oh, okay. So the next level is only that you have then here your troops. You can see here 2 corps. And then 2, 2, 3 or 2. This is I think the Germans have more or less here everywhere 2 or 3. And every hex can make 1 attack. So I can make 1 attack and I can choose now attack this one, or this one. And it makes sense that you always concentrate your forces. So I would like, here's Verdun. I could now attack Verdun from 1, 2, 3, 4 different hexes. Each time I make an attack, and depending how successful my attack is, I think the enemy morale for that turn will suffer. I think from no morale is stable, -5, -10, -15. And then in the next battle, the troops have less morale. And if the morale is broken, you can normally always defeat the enemy unit with you kill them all or you break their morale. If their morale is broken, they simply run away. And there's no way to stop this. But if a unit run away, they are not dead. Means you don't must pay for replacement. If a unit gets killed, you always must pay for this. And this game, like the real First World War, is very easily a management of resources. And not so much the real brilliant victory on the battlefield. It's really more maintenance, where I invest, where I strike, how many resources I can provide. For the Germans, it's always the number 1 goal is try to inflict more casualties on the enemy side than count your own. Because the Allies always have more troops. Good. So now I have here my headquarter, and here is my backup. This is my tactical reserve. These units I can more or less replace now at the first turn and try to create a Schwerpunkt where I want strike. And it is also the same that I must use these units to counter enemy attacks. So if I realize that there's a build-up of enemy forces, then I must maybe bring in reinforcements. The Allies also have here troops. The British are here, they are still not all in position, and the French also have some troops here. 4 here and 10. So 14 backup troops for the Allies. And for me it is 12, a little more. But I have less troops, I think, in total than the Allies. Good. It's also let you easily see that Verdun is maybe exposed, but it's forced me to keep here 4 hexes full of troops, and I must normally have at least 2, better maybe 3 troops in every hex to have a chance to defend. We will see this soon, how this will change. Because if I have only 1 or 2 corps and the enemy have 4, then they easily can overcome normally my defense line. Good. I think this is first the basics. I mean, I can explain always more, but Then, so this is my backup troops. Then you have here the 2 resources is normally money and supplies. And with money you can buy supplies. And every unit you field on the, or every unit you want to bring in on the battlefield, every artillery shell you fire consumes all the supplies. So supplies is what you're really running out very fast. And you produce every turn, and 1 turn is 1 month. You get always some money back and some supplies back. I think you get, at the beginning you get 1000 gold per turn, and I don't know, more 500 supplies or 1000 supplies, something like this. You can change this with R&D, because R&D is the next stuff. And R&D is more or less a long time thinking, where you want focus. You can try to, I mean, it's impossible to get all this text, but I would always say try to focus on something. At least you must split. You won't go for artillery, you won't go for infantry, or you won't go for aviation. Defense, trench, I think everyone need. Logistic, everyone need. And intelligence is, I don't know. This is against the AI, and I think, I don't know if I really need here this too much. You can always, and you can always undo this. You can I'm not sure if I really need this stuff. I think what is important is maybe this double for events. Sometimes you can get an event and then the game asks you, please buy this technology, and then you get, or you must do something. The game asks you, request something, and then you can get additional resource points. That is maybe interesting. And this is all for, it's a little, I think, not so important. The Germans, I think the Allies have another point. I think the Allies are starting with trench warfare, but at least the Germans, they have this heavy artillery. Means you can fire faster. Okay. What I think is important is, first is infantry. Gives them some steel helmet. Gives them more hit points, and infantry is dying so quickly, so this is a must-have. The next stuff is maybe the supply depot. Not that you really need this too much, but I take it because I want this one. This gives you 200 additional gold. So normal is 1000 per turn, so now I get 1200. And then I would normally go try to get more gold than 400. And then 1600. And here's also other stuff. But this is all logistics. This let you simply maintenance your front line better and more easy in the future. It will not give you any firepower. Good. This is maybe more important for the long run. And infantry and artillery, I think, is maybe where you can get early on more punching power. This too is also for the long run for the defense, roughly speaking. Good. And maybe I can only say now, the next problem is that you have these conscript units, and they are really only good for, they are really, the main purpose is defense. They are not good for any attack.
Wir haben neue Befehle.
So what I can do now is maybe this hex have only one
Warten auf Befehle.
one conscript unit. This is a little too little. So I will give one normal infantry guy I will send here. Simply touch it. So once you move this unit, it is ready for defense for if the enemy attack you, but you cannot use this unit for your own attack. So this is why this is locked. But next turn I can use it. Here I have 3 infantry units. Okay. 2 infantry units. 2. Where I expect always an attack is normally in this area. Here the enemy have 3 hexes around me. He can attack me here better. And I would normally always want to have a... Maybe I can take this guy away. Bring it here.
Wir haben neue Befehle. Bewegt euch! Wir haben
And
neue
bring
Befehle.
some conscript
Wir
guys
müssen
to
los.
this area.
Warten auf Befehl. Jetzt aber im Laufschritt. Bereit machen. Ausrücken. Achtung! Wir sind unterwegs. Wir haben neue Befehle. Bewegt euch!
I can still move them next turn some other place again. For attacking, always elite infantry is the best. The problem is that they are really expensive. So I can later, if I show you the map, then there's something I must explain why they are expensive. At the start of the battle you get a more or less a discount for everything what you have the first time use. If you want later call reinforcements, then they are more expensive. So normally elite infantry you need where you want attack. And I will normally attack here in this area because here, I mean, this area is all, I think, more easy to attack, and it's against the British. So I will bring in elite infantry here.
Bereit machen. Bewegt euch. Achtung, wir müssen los. Bereit für Befehle.
And maybe
Zackig.
here.
Neue Befehle gehen ein.
This guy is also a little exposed.
Wir haben neue Befehle.
Then I bring the normal
Jetzt
infantry
aber im Laufschritt.
maybe
Warten auf Befehle.
here. Two. Two is a minimum. Maybe one I keep backup, but it's make no sense to really keep them in backup, so you can always deploy them. Maybe I put them to again.
Bereit machen. Ausrücken.
Good. So I make A&D, I bring my units at the front line. Now I have my supplies. You can always exchange more or less money for supplies, but you can do this only maximum 5 times per turn. So I touch this once, I pay 500, I get 150 supplies. That you only get a feeling what's the price of supplies. You can see 500 gold is 150 supplies. Good. Then there's the information. This is a task. You say, okay, kill 10 French companies and you get 400 golds. 400 gold is not even enough to get 150 supplies. Okay. You don't must accept them. If you don't successful, nothing happens. It's only like you can get this bonus. You not must do it. Good. I think this is so far enough. There's only one more stuff. I actually talk about this. You can, every hex can have additional buildings, but most of them are locked because I don't have the tech. The tech is only that I have a supply depot. Because more or less, if you touch here, you can see how many supplies are ready to use for attack and also defense. It's the same. And this is every corps have 150 supplies. This unit is locked, so I don't get the supplies for this first next turn. And this depot will give you additional supplies you can use. But this is only can use. They all get used from this overall headquarters supplies. So it's not that I have 300 plus this. This 2500 is more or less the everything what I have, and this is the limitation. I can use up to 300 supplies for my 2150. Good. Make a simple. Then now I must try to find a spot where the enemy is not so strong, where I can maybe attack. And you can see here Arras is only one enemy corps. That would be fine to attack. The British, I must kill the French, but okay, I can try this. I have 2 corps, and here I have 3 corps ready. So I take first with 3 corps, because the second attack I can make from this side, then the enemy have already less morale. So I take first with my stronger forces and then with my weaker forces. So I simply only say attack. Then you have this option that you can say you can make auto, but then the PC say no, if you make auto then we will for sure lose. I can cancel anytime, I can engage. I know there's one corps, but I don't know what quality, and this is what I have maximum. I have maximum 60 squadrons or fighting squads, 3 heavy and 3 light artillery. So I go now to engage. I can't. So normally, if the PC more or less say you will achieve a victory, then I let more or less auto calculation do it. And if there's something like you will lose or it's not sure if you win, then I make the battle by myself. But you can tell me if you want I try do it in a different way. And this hex is depending now on weather, and some is, I think, rolling hills. I don't know more what this is. Blizzard is only that you can, both sides cannot see so far more. Good, and this is the actual map. Here is the mini map, and this is the real time action map. And this is First World War, so the first is that you must try to create a defense. This is my supplies I have. I have 340 supplies I can use. The defense I build now will stick forever if it's not getting destroyed, but I think it cannot get destroyed. You can only cancel it by yourself, but you cannot actively really destroy it. Here I cannot build because there's this crater already. This is more or less victory point, so I won't try to defend it. I built a little here, but this cost me some money, not too much, but at least some. Good. This is enough, I think, here. Maybe one more. The PC always like to come at the edge of the map. I also would like to do this, so let's say this. Here is no wood, so you cannot hide there. Good. Then you have the options to make a machine gun. This kind of stuff you must pay with. This costs you supplies. So the money in the battle is not money. You don't pay your money, you pay supplies, but you must pay supplies with money. So at the end, it is also something. All what you invest here is a one-time use. So I can use the heavy artillery or light artillery, but I must first pay them with supplies that they are ready. The balloon is the same. They will not stick. The trench will stick, or they are cheap. Everything else is one-time use. The machine gun and all of the stuff. And I am now here attacking, so I don't really want to make too much defense because this costs me too much. What I want to use is normally light artillery, because light artillery I think is better for attacking and heavy artillery is better for defending. You will see soon why. This is a little unlucky. Here in the top you can see the color changing. But it's not easy to see. But with this artillery I can attack everything but not the spot B. So I keep 2 artillery here. And let's go for B. Good. Now I can infantry, and now the big thinking is, now it's before the game starts I get a discount for all the units. Now I pay only 5 supplies for 1 squad. Later the price is double. This is why I normally like to have 1 elite squad in every hex I attack. Then I buy at the beginning only elite infantry, but I never buy them for reinforcements. Oh, and now I have another issue. I'm out of supplies. Maybe I cut 1 artillery to get a little more infantry. And 25% of my supplies is always in backup, so I will not consume all of my supplies, even if I spend here now everything. 1 more guy. Good. 30 is also the maximum. Every map have always a limitation of 30. I can only have 30 units on a map. Doesn't matter how many corps I have in the hex. It is maximum. But you can see This is the maximum. I have now only 33 squads and backup. And this is related on what I have on the hex. I have here 2 corps. One corps have 30 battle units. I consume 28 plus 2 battle artilleries, so this is why 32 are left. If I want reinforcements, then it costs me 10. So I start the battle now. And the first thing what I do is normally, I always use some squads to scout the area a little.
Wir haben neue Befehle. An die Linie.
I can bring
Wir
this
haben
guy
neue
here,
Befehle.
then I bring this guy
Bewegt
here.
euch.
These are simple trenches. You have one, the first position is for firing and the second is for backup. Not both can fire.
Warten auf
Later
Befehle.
you can improve these
Wir müssen
trenches.
los. Bereit machen. Jetzt aber im Laufschritt.
I don't expect that the enemy will really attack me,
Achtung. Ausrücken.
but I always like to have a little some scout
Wir haben
information
neue
first.
Befehle. Wir sind unterwegs.
Oh,
Wir haben neue Befehle.
so the enemy use also artillery on me, and normally once there's artillery on your unit, it's better not to move more. You better maybe simply keep your head down.
Warten auf Befehle. Bewegt euch. Bereit machen. Wir müssen los. Achtung.
But I know now, okay,
Feuerstellung einnehmen.
there's enemy artillery. Okay, coming. And here are some French forces,
Wir haben neue Befehle. Kompanie, halt.
some British here, not British, not French. Good. This unit is also heavily damaged and is not more ready for combat, so I call them back.
Wir ziehen uns zurück.
Then the units survive are fine. Because if everything die, at the end of the battle more or less everyone is dead, you must replace them.
Jetzt aber im
Or at
Laufschritt.
least you try to replace them and you must pay with this. So in this case you can more or less save some money because this kind of units are useless for you to really fight.
Achtung.
Good. I use now one squad to try to come at least at the edge of the map and get some information. Because now it's a blizzard, I cannot really see so far. And there are 3 enemy spots I must take, A, B, C plus the headquarter. And only if I take all 4 spots I have a total victory, and only if I achieve a total victory
Wir haben
I
neue
reduce the
Befehle.
star level.
Die Generäle wollen diesen Abschnitt haben.
Ah, there's more artillery coming.
Wir halten hier.
They like bombard me. But, only to explain this unit cost me 5 supplies. If I want to make one artillery shell of heavy artillery, it costs 9 supplies. Only heavy artillery will create damage. Light artillery only will suppress you. Good. I think I am now in
Warten
position.
auf Befehle. Bewegt euch.
I will now prepare for my
Bereit
attack.
machen. Wir müssen los.
For this I will first bring my units in
Befehle.
a position I can
Wir haben
attack.
neue Befehle. Wir sind unterwegs.
I keep maybe 2 units first. Ah, yeah, 2 units I can keep here, yeah. Maybe I can take this guy's. Oh yeah, I think I try it first with this. This is always a little messy. I still don't like it too much, but I try to make a storm attack now. I will stop the time. You can always stop the time. The timer is here. 20 minutes. Every battle is maximum 20 minutes. Then I give them a target.
Auf der Feuerstufe bereit machen.
I try to take
Wir haben
this.
neue Befehle.
This is one trench. Here's a second
In Stellung
trench.
gehen. Warten auf Befehle.
Here's a third
Bereit an
trench.
der Linie. Bereit machen. An die
Here's
Linie.
also a trench.
Achtung! Feuerstellung einnehmen. Wir haben neue Befehle.
And this
Wir
go for
halten hier die
scouting.
Stellung.
So. Then now we're waiting for enemy fire. Oh. Yeah. The enemy see me coming already. Maybe they have a balloon? I'm not sure. Maybe. But I don't stop the attack now. I simply try to outrun them. So, there's enemy. Now I can use counter battery fire to suppress them. And it's not only that you can suppress one, the suppressing fire is very big. So if I put it here, I suppress more or less all of these 4 hexes, or trenches. I will not create any damage, but I will suppress them. Now you can see this unit cannot attack more. There's this symbol for. Now I can tell my guy, enter the trench. But here are more units, so I must use a second battery fire. I can use it maybe here. So I storm in.
Warten auf Befehle. In Stellung gehen. Bereit machen. Bereit an der Linie.
And it looks like I can overcome most of the British forces.
Wir ergeben uns. Achtung!
Ah, okay.
Schwenkt die weiße Fahne. An die Linie. Feuerstellung einnehmen.
Yeah, this is a little messy. This is, I think, a little shitty in this game that you can more or less walk past each other and you don't attack each other. Because only in the trench you fight. You don't fight in this connection trench. So now I can see that I take now the base here more or less, or it needs some time. But I lost 5 squads off the map, and some others are already disabled. So I can now call in my 2 units. I get always 2 in one trench, and I always like to walk to one trench because the trench gives you always some defense against the bombardment. I also will call back maybe these guys. They are too weak to really fight for me.
Wir haben neue Befehle. In Stellung gehen. Wir haben neue Befehle. Bereit an der Linie.
These guys I can bring forward.
Warten auf Befehle. An die Linie.
And all of these units, these are my starter units, I get them for half price. I can always call now in reinforcements because I have not the maximum number, I have still some supplies. But if possible I try to achieve my victory, or at least what is possible with the little I have. This guy is also a little damaged, I maybe call him back.
Achtung! Wir müssen los.
Okay, maybe the second line I don't need here.
Wir haben neue Befehle. Jetzt aber im Laufschritt.
This guy I can bring here, because this is only the second position, it will not fire. So I won't have in every trench the fire position. This is automatically. The first unit go always for the fire position, the second will always go for the backup position. Good. Now I need more information. Here's the B spot. And I don't know if I can get my artillery here. This is out of range, so I can use 1 to suppress this side. This can suppress here, okay. Good. Reinforcements is coming.
Bereit machen. Achtung!
Let's scout here.
Wir haben neue Befehle. Wir sind unterwegs. Wir haben neue Befehle. Warten auf Befehle. Bewegt euch! Bereit machen! Wir müssen diese Stellung halten! Achtung! Die Generäle wollen diesen Abschnitt haben!
So, to be really successful, yeah, it's First World War, so you need normally a bunch of infantry, you need the numbers, and then you need artillery simply to suppress the enemy and try to run into the enemy trenches and then go in meal battle. And then if you have the numbers, you can always achieve the victory. You can also go with heavy artillery. With heavy artillery you can also more or less destroy everything, but it's expensive. It is simply only a way if you have enough money. So the Allies can always go the money way, the Germans must always go the efficiency way.
Wir müssen los!
At least
Wir haben
no,
neue Befehle. Jetzt aber
in average. And then
Befehle. Ausrücken! Bereit machen! Wir sind
most
unterwegs!
of the battles. Good, so I try to sneak in a little.
Wir haben neue Befehle! Wir halten hier! Wir haben neue Befehle! Los! Jetzt aber im Laufschritt! Warten auf Befehle! Wir halten hier die Stellung! Ausrücken!
Oh oh, artillery.
Bereit machen! Hier Halt machen! Achtung! Wir sind
The advantage, or the good thing is, if he now uses bombardment here, he cannot use it later if I rush in.
Wir haben neue Befehle!
So sometimes I use one squad, go out, try to lure enemy artillery fire, and then I can rush in with everything else. Good. So more or less the same again.
Wir haben neue Befehle!
Yeah, I can try.
Auf der
Let's
Feuerstufe
go
bereit
behind.
machen. Warten auf Befehle! In Stellung
That
gehen!
guy go there.
Bereit machen! Bereit an der Linie! Achtung! An die Linie! Wir haben neue Befehle! Feuerstellung einnehmen! Wir haben neue Befehle! Auf der Feuerstufe bereit machen! Auf Befehle!
Here is one trench.
Bereit machen! Bereit an der Linie! Achtung! An die Linie! Wir haben neue Befehle! Feuerstellung einnehmen! Wir haben neue Befehle!
And these three guys.
Wir
Ah, ja.
müssen diese Stellung halten. Auf Befehle! Bereit machen! Die Generäle wollen diesen
Gut.
Abschnitt haben!
Let's try. Waiting. Okay, now the fire comes. And here's a machine gunner, and the machine gunner kill your guys in seconds. And now I must make sure that he cannot go there, so this guy go here. Block this. This guy must block, maybe here. Good.
Achtung! Feuer frei! Wir haben neue Befehle! Angriff!
Here you can see that my guy is trying to throw hand grenades on the enemy.
Wir haben neue Befehle! Feuer! Warten auf Befehle! Wählt eure Ziele!
The advantage of light industry artillery is that you can be ready for the next shell very quickly. Heavy artillery we nearly, I think, 1 or 2 minutes.
Bereit machen! Auf der Feuerstufe bereit machen! Wir haben neue Befehle! Alle Mann
This
zurück!
guy fall back.
Wir haben neue Befehle! Stellung gehen! Warten auf Befehle! Bereit an der Linie!
This looks all fine. Sometimes you don't know exactly if they are inside the trench or not. You can see it on the small dots that they are here, but here is no information about this. But you can see it, I think, here also. You have this this information that the unit is inside the hex, and I can more or less double click on the unit and then I know where they are. So it is possible, but you must always stop.
Wir haben neue Befehle!
So this looks also like a victory. This guy is dead.
Befehle. Alle zurückziehen! Bereit
This
machen.
guy is dead.
Wir gehen zurück!
The rest is maybe acceptable. Good. So I was still very successful in overcoming 2 positions, but I consume half of my time already. Here you can also see the casualties are more or less for us equally, but I have more units, so it is for me in favor, and I am attacking. Attacking is normally always bloody. So I must normally also take C.
Achtung!
Good. Now I must rush a
Hier die
little.
Stellung.
Mannschaften
Out of range.
Seid bereit, Jungs. Sperrfeuer.
But one guy I can use, okay.
Wir haben neue Befehle. Halt! Wir haben neue Befehle. Diese Stellung gehört uns. Warten auf Befehle. Wir müssen diese Stellung halten. Bereit machen. Die Generäle wollen diesen Abschnitt haben. Achtung, wir halten hier.
Oh, there's the enemy artillery.
Wir haben neue Befehle. Wir halten hier die Stellung. Wir haben
And the
neue
artillery
Stellung.
cannot turn.
Gehört uns.
So you have always this fire arc, more or less, I think with 45 degree. So if you come from the side, they cannot really do anything.
Warten auf Befehl. Wir müssen diese Stellung halten. Bereit machen. Die Generäle wollen diesen Abschnitt haben.
Ah, there's enemy infantry.
Bereit für
This
Feuerbefehle.
artillery cannot use, but I can use this one.
Granaten für leichte Sperrfeuer laden. Wir haben unsere Ziele.
Wir haben neue
These two
Befehle.
guys go in.
Feuerstellung einnehmen. Wir haben neue
Let's go
Befehle.
here.
Feuermänner! Warten auf Befehle. Bereit machen. Wir halten hier.
So taking the trench, waiting that the artillery is ready, and again. But every time I use the artillery, I consume 6 supplies. So I am running slowly out of supplies.
Für
So I now make here suppressing fire on this side.
Feuer.
Then I give this guy the order to take the trench.
Auf der Feuerstufe bereit Wir haben neue Befehle.
This
In
guy go
Stellung
here.
gehen. Wir haben neue Befehle. Bereit an der
Go
Linie.
here.
Warten auf Befehle. An die Linie.
Okay, this was enough.
Bereit machen.
And I need one more in the trench here.
Achtung, auf
Oh.
der Feuerstufe bereit machen.
Artillery is still not ready.
Wir haben neue Befehle. In Stellung gehen. Wir haben neue Befehle. Warten auf Befehle. Bereit an der Linie. Bereit machen. An die Linie.
Positionen vorbereiten. Sperrfeuerwalze befohlen. Auf diese
Wir
Stellung.
können hier nicht gewinnen. Achtung!
I think I need now reinforcements. So I call now in reinforcements. You can only call reinforcements in areas you can have.
Melde mich zum Dienst. Verstärkung
This is
macht
maybe
Meldung.
enough. Still fighting here.
Wir haben neue Befehle.
And it also makes no sense to call more or less the guys retreat in the last moment, because it only makes sense if no enemy is nearby. If you run away, the enemy can still shoot on you. So now I walk more or less from one trench to the next, and then we make only meal combat. We don't really shoot each other. We only kick each other. So this guy I can more or less call back. This guy can call back. Then I can bring this guy here. Now I'm out of range. Now I can withdraw. Here's my reinforcements.
Warten auf Befehle. Ausschwärmen. Bereit machen. Bereit an
You
der
go
Linie.
here.
Achtung! An die
Go
Linie.
here.
Wir haben neue Befehle. Feuerstellung einnehmen. Wir haben neue Befehle. Warten auf Befehle. Auf der Feuerstufe bereit machen.
And this guy's attack. And this is the command trench. This is more or less the headquarter. I think it's have a defense and for a bonus for defense, so it's always hard to take it.
Wir halten hier die Stellung.
So now I took everything.
Achtung! In Stellung gehen. Wir
This
haben
guy is a
neue
little
Befehle.
too damaged.
Alle Mann zurückziehen. Wir haben neue Befehle. Warten auf Befehle. Bereit an der Linie. Bereit machen.
Now I must still take C, but I come now from behind, so
Bewegt euch.
enemy MG positions will not. They are also fixed like artillery, so you must make sure where you want to put your machine guns. I also have here 3 troops still on this side.
Wir müssen los. Wir haben neue Befehle. Aber Laufschritt. Wir haben neue Befehle.
This is everything. Oh, here on the minimap you can see this kind of stuff is always artillery, and dots is infantry. Oh, here's one more
Warten auf
infantry.
Befehle. Wir sind unterwegs. Bereit machen. Bewegt euch.
So
Achtung!
these guys are weak.
Alle zurückziehen. Wir haben neue Befehle.
The rest is
Diese
okay.
Stellung gehört uns. Wir haben neue Befehle. Wir müssen diese Stellung halten. Warten auf Befehle. Wir müssen los. Bereit machen. Jetzt aber im Laufschritt.
And there's really not more much left. The British are already defeated because they have only 1 corps, so they have only maximum 30 squads. Good, I go here simply in
Wir haben neue Befehle. An die Linie.
and hope that there's no one more left.
Feuerstellung einnehmen. Die warten auf Befehle. Auf der Feuerstufe.
But there is something shooting at me, but up to now I have no visual contact, so I wait a little. Ah, okay, now I see them.
Mannschaften bereit.
This is out of range,
Seid bereit.
this one
für
is
diese
in range,
Position mit Sperrfeuer
so I will use this one to block both trenches. Maybe I can even block this.
Feuerwalze einleiten.
Oh, there's the MG.
Bereit machen.
Dangerous.
Feuer frei. Achtung! In Stellung gehen. Wir haben neue Befehle. Bereit an der Linie.
So I kick out the 1 MG, now I try to walk inside the trench. Once I'm in the trench they cannot shoot more. It's of course always a bloody mess.
Die Arme hoch, Jungs. Warten auf Befehl. Feuerstellung einnehmen. Bereit machen. Auf der Feuerstufe bereit machen.
And I don't exactly see where I am now.
In Stellung gehen. Wir haben neue Befehle. Wir ergeben uns. Bereit an der Linie. Wir haben neue
But
Befehle.
I think the British are now defeated.
Die Generäle wollen
Hier.
diesen Abschnitt haben.
And now the British are completely defeated. Again, this is This is the only hex I think where the game starts with only one corp. If the enemy had 2 corps, this is far less likely to achieve this kind of victory. Good, I can now go for fast speed. Unluckily, the game don't make automatic victory if there's no enemy left. I must. And the timer, I normally, this is double speed, I normally miss 3 times speed or 5 times speed. Good. This is now the sweep, and sweep means more or less enemy lose a star, but not the hex. To achieve this is really not so easy. So here you just saw 1 star gets destroyed, so the allies have only 1 star left in this hex. I have now a great victory. This is a change of morale. Once the morale is 0, then you also lose the game, so you don't must really conquer hexes. You simply can win. I must conquer Paris and I win. If the allies conquer my headquarters, then they win. Or if the morale is at 0, then they also lose. Or you simply can dry out. This is also more or less the money. You can see all of my losses. This is what I lose. I must pay 620 gold, and the allies also losing 640. So more or less the losses in material are equally, but I achieved the victory. So I get some morale points. But economy, it was more or less balanced. I killed 3,500 British infantry plus some heavy artillery, and this gives me points. And you can see oh, this give me points, 5,400 nearly at the end. And the defense also gets some points. And you get some base points because you attack 500, the defense get always more points. So it is more easy normally to defend than to attack. And then you get some bonus here. Good. You can also check how is the squad if it gets defeated. And you can see I always this is what is left over. And this is for the British. And then if they get retreated or blah 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 blah. But this is, I think, I don't know if it's really so important. At the end, Germany win. I get 11 victory morale points and the allies losing 18. Good. Most important is this battle cost me over 600 gold. And I get in 1 month only 1,200 gold. So this one battle already consumed half of my money I get per month. So I can only more or less make 2 battles and to keep the balance. But of course, because I attack here already, now this hex have a minus 15 morale because they have fatigue. I attack out of this hex, so this hex is now burning. This means these units are blocked, they cannot do more. This is burning, this means there was a battle. Now I would simply take this hex and attack here. The game tell me again major losses. Okay. This is still only, there's still 1 corp. So long you have money, I think you can always replace your units. I'm not really exactly sure what is if you're running out of money. So I will now make the second battle, and I think then it's enough for this first turn and day. Engage. And this is always, it's always, I go from one hex to another hex, and then this game create a map. The map is always the same in the border. So from the hex I come now, from Perron to Arras is always this map. But if Arras attack me, it's the other map. And just now we had also another map because it was not the same. I come from other province. Good. First I built some basic defense because I can only call infantry units in a trench. You cannot call them an open field. And for maybe the future, here's no defense at all. Here I cannot go, so I build here. And the second line. Plus one line behind. I think this is enough. 2 spots here now. I think, yeah. So then I call in my... I like normally to use the light artillery at the beginning. But maybe in a position where I can shoot on all. Here. It's a little exposed, of course. Oh. I have no supplies left. Shit. Then I only can use one artillery. And now I try to...
Verstärkung bereit. Wir sind eingetroffen und warten auf Befehle.
More infantry.
Wir kommen wohl zu spät zur Party. Melde mich zum Dienst.
So not even enough to call in all 3. But I need at least 1 artillery or you cannot attack. It is very bloody without artillery. Okay, let's try. So first, some scouts.
Bewegt euch! Bereit machen! Wir müssen los! Achtung! Jetzt aber im Laufschritt! Wir haben neue Befehle! Wir haben neue Befehle! Wir halten hier! Warten auf Befehle! Ausrücken! Bereit machen! Wir sind unterwegs! Achtung! Bewegt euch! Wir haben neue Befehle! Wir müssen los!
So now I get a little more supplies, but this is barely enough to call 7 reinforcements units, but I would normally use them for artillery shell. 1 artillery shell is 6, so I can make 12 shells and then it's done already. Good.
Wir haben neue Befehle. Hier die Stellung. Jetzt aber im Laufschritt. Warten auf Befehle. Bereit
I
machen.
try to
Ausrücken.
get my strike force in position.
Achtung, wir sind unterwegs.
Oh, artillery. Too late.
Wir haben neue Befehle. Euch.
Stay there.
Wir haben neue Befehle. Stellung gehört uns. Warten auf Befehle. Wir müssen los. Bereit machen. Wir müssen diese Stellung halten. Jetzt aber im Laufschritt. Wir haben
Okay, you are a little weak. You can go for backup.
Wir haben neue Befehle. Die Generäle wollen diesen Abschnitt haben.
Good. These 2 guys go for... Oof, I have only 1 artillery.
Bereit für Feuerbefehle! Feuer befohlen!
I can block these 3 trenches. Okay.
Bereit machen. Achtung! Feuerstellung
Go for
halten.
here.
Wir haben neue Befehle. Auf der Feuerstufe
Go for
bereit
here.
machen. Wir haben neue Befehle. In Stellung gehen.
Here.
Warten auf Befehle. Bereit an der Linie.
This guy's here.
Bereit machen.
No.
Achtung!
And these guys walk in and
Wir
try to
halten hier.
eliminate enemy into machine guns.
Wir haben neue Befehle.
Also
Wir
storm.
halten hier die Stellung.
Ladet sie nach! Granaten für leichte Sperrfeuer laden! Alle Waffen abfeuern!
Now these units cannot shoot more. These guys are more or less dead, quite a bit. But they already... some can maybe run away.
Warten auf Befehle. Ausrücken. Die Waffen niederlegen. Bereit machen. An die Linie. Achtung! Feuerstellung einnehmen! Wir können hier nicht gewinnen. Wir haben neue Befehle. Feuerstufe bereit machen. Wir haben neue Befehle.
Oh, there's a machine gun.
Positionen vorbereiten. Wir halten unsere Ziele.
Die Arme hoch, Jungs. Warten auf Befehle. Wir geben uns. In Stellung gehen. Bereit an der Linie. Bereit machen.
Now I must move quickly to the machine gun to get rid of it.
Die Weiße vorne. Wir haben neue Befehle. An die Linie. Die Waffen niederlegen. Wir können hier nicht gewinnen.
Ah no.
Mannschaften bereit. Schwerfeuerwalze befohlen.
I need reinforcements, that's for sure. Good, I call my 3.
Wir haben neue Befehle. Wir sind unterwegs. Warten auf Befehle.
This guy can protect the artillery.
Bewegt euch. Bereit machen. Wir müssen los.
Oh, the British are coming. Ugh. So this was a very bloody attack, not so successful. This time I'm missing the second light artillery to suppress everything more easy.
Achtung! Die Arme hoch, Jungs. Wir haben neue Befehle. Wir geben uns. Einnehmen. Wir haben neue Befehle. Auf der Feuerstufe bereit machen. Warten auf Befehle. In Stellung gehen.
Maybe these two
Bereit
guys.
machen. Diese Stellung gehört uns. Achtung! Bereit an der Linie. Wir haben neue Befehle. An die Linie. Wir haben neue Befehle. Feuerstellung einnehmen. Warten auf Befehle. Anhalten und Gefecht bereit machen. Jetzt aber im Laufschritt. Achtung!
Cool, weg.
Rückzug! Wir haben neue Befehle.
So once I'm in the trench, the machine gun cannot attack me more.
Auf der Feuerstufe bereit machen. Warten auf Befehle. In Stellung.
So I like always to try to enter the trench and then walk in the trench, and then I can simply bypass the enemy machine gun.
Bereit machen.
You only must make sure that you only can walk from one trench. I cannot take this guys and walk here because then there's no space, so I must always move with the front troops to the next trench. Ah, reinforcements is coming.
Warten auf Befehle. Ausrücken. Bereit machen. Wir sind unterwegs. Achtung! Feuerstellung einnehmen! Wir haben neue
So
Befehle.
this guys can go
Auf
to
der
this trench.
Feuerstufe bereit machen. Wir haben neue Befehle. Bewegt euch! Warten auf Befehle.
Now I must take the British on, but they are already heavily damaged. The white one is morale and the green one is the real people. So the morale is often breaking first. Especially you can see that the white is not matching with the green because there was already a battle in this
Wir müssen diese
HEX this turn. This is why they have 15% less. And this machine gun I can take out. Now I will more or less call in artillery,
Diese Position mit Sperrfeuer belegen.
bombard them,
bereit machen.
and at the same time call my guys in.
Befehle.
So, also victory achieved. Some heavy bombardment here. So this is heavy artillery.
Wir haben neue Befehle. Wir müssen los. Jetzt aber im Laufschritt.
If I'm lucky, he is no enemy.
Bereit an der Linie.
Ah, okay, there is enemy.
Bereit für Feuerbefehle! Feuer! Befeuert auf diese Stellung!
I'm running low on supplies, but I call them better back.
Achtung! An die Linie. Wir haben neue Befehle. Feuerstellung einnehmen.
Maybe I call in some reinforcements.
Verstärkung macht Meldung. Verstärkung bereit. Wir sind eingetroffen
Yeah,
und
then I
warten
have
auf
still
Befehle.
6 shells left.
Wir haben neue Befehle. Die Generäle wollen diesen Abschnitt haben. Gefechtsformation. Wir halten hier.
Ja,
Die Waffen niederlegen.
gut.
Ladet sie nach! Granaten für leichte Schwerfeuer einleiten!
Suppressing fire.
Warten auf Befehle. Auf der Feuerstufe bereit machen.
Enter the hex. The trench.
In Stellung gehen. Achtung. Bereit an der
Enter
Linie.
this
Wir
one.
haben neue Befehle. An die Linie. Wir haben neue Befehle. Feuerstellung einnehmen. Warten auf Befehle. Wir halten hier die Stellung. Bereit machen. Achtung! Auf der Feuerstufe bereit machen. Wir haben neue Befehle. Wir haben neue Befehle. In Stellung gehen! Warten auf Befehle. Bereit an der Linie. Bereit machen. An die Linie.
So. This is a machine gun, but it can only fire the source direction. You can also zoom in, but most of the time this is only for 5 seconds or 5 minutes. It looks nice, and then you want always the overview and not the
Wir haben neue Befehle.
cinema effect.
Feuerstellung einnehmen.
Good. Now I walk here down, trying to catch up. At the same time, I go for the command post. I have enough time, but I don't know if I have enough manpower to take the map on. Ah, looks like. I think mainly because the enemy morale is so big.
Gehört uns. Warten auf Befehle.
But I'm now completely out of supplies, and I have now only the 3 guys here.
Bereit machen. Achtung! Ausrücken! Wir haben neue Befehle. Wir sind unterwegs. Wir haben neue Befehle. Warten auf Befehle.
So,
Bereit machen. Wir müssen los. Achtung! Jetzt aber im Laufschritt. Wir haben neue
Everything
Befehle.
what I have.
Ausrücken.
I try to go for B now. Oh,
Wir haben neue Befehle. Wir können hier nicht gewinnen. Warten auf Befehle. An der Linie.
something is shooting on me.
Bereit machen. Wir sind unterwegs.
It was bloody. But where they come from? Maybe they're in the woods.
Feuerstellung einnehmen. Auf der Feuerstufe bereit machen. Achtung! In Stellung gehen! Wir haben neue Befehle. An der Linie! Wir haben neue Befehle. An die Linie! Feuerstellung einnehmen! Warten auf Befehle. Wir müssen diese Stellung halten. Bereit machen. Die Generäle wollen diesen Abschnitt haben.
So, this is not easy. I don't know. This guy is completely destroyed. These guys are also all weak. I have here maybe only 2, 3, 4 units I can use.
Achtung,
Gut.
wir halten hier. Wir haben neue Befehle. Halten hier die Stellung. Wir haben neue Befehle. Diese Stellung gehört uns. Warten auf Befehle. Wir müssen diese Stellung halten. Bereit machen. Die Generäle wollen diesen Abschnitt haben. Wir haben neue
I maybe
Befehle.
call in
Wir
my
halten
last
hier.
backup. Oh, this guy is broken. Okay, then must be
Positionen für Sperrfeuerwalze laden.
here.
Alle Waffen abfeuern.
Wir haben neue Befehle. Auf der Feuerstufe bereit machen. Auf Befehle. Wir halten
Ah.
hier die Stellung machen. Achtung! In Stellung gehen! Wir haben neue Befehle.
Ah, too much
An
fire.
der Linie. Wir ergeben uns.
So I don't know. I can try to bring in this. No, this guy is too weak.
Warten auf Befehle. Diese Stellung gehört uns.
I'm simply out of supplies. I have normally nothing more I can really use to fire.
Bewegt euch! Achtung! Wir müssen los.
Ah, look.
Wählt eure
Here's the
Ziele.
enemy
Wir haben
artillery.
neue Befehle. Feuermänner!
At least I can create more damage for the allies.
Wir haben neue Befehle. Feuer frei!
That guy is really too
Warten
weak.
auf
I
Befehle.
call him back.
Alle zurückziehen! Bereit
That guy
machen.
is also too
Wir
weak.
gehen zurück!
Ah,
Achtung!
here's a trench.
Wir haben neue Befehle.
Mannschaften bereit. Sperrfeuerwalze haben unsere Ziele.
Wir haben neue Befehle. An die Linie! Warten auf Befehl. Jetzt noch ein Laufschritt. Die Waffen niederlegen. Feuerstellung einnehmen.
Yeah, First World War, trench warfare is very bloody.
Bereit
That
machen.
guy is also out of action. Thank you
Achtung!
for your
Wir müssen diese Stellung halten.
achievement in this war. So I have one more shell.
Wir haben neue Befehle. Ausrücken.
I'm not so sure if I can overcome. Here's an MG position and here's an MG position, but they're all facing swords, so I can maybe try to bypass them. But if this is not working, then it's over, and I think there are still too many forces.
Die Generäle wollen diesen Abschnitt haben. Wir halten hier.
So, last
Diese
shell.
Position mit Sperrfeuer belegen. Feuer!
Warten auf Befehle. Angriff!
These two guys go
Auf
in
der
this trench.
Feuerstufe bereit machen. Achtung!
This guy
Wir haben neue Befehle.
In Stellung gehen!
Wir haben neue Befehle.
Bereit an der Linie!
Yeah, maybe. At least the MG position is dead.
Wir können hier nicht gewinnen!
But no. Yeah, too many. I still lacking the power. I don't have enough supplies.
Die Arme
No ammunition, no reinforcements. These are really my last guys.
Warten auf Befehle.
And this is the only one is left here.
Wir
I
ziehen
call
uns
him back.
zurück! Wir ergeben uns!
Okay. So then I can ask for ceasefire. Means we stop fighting because I cannot achieve more. Not a total victory, so I cannot sweep. It's a tactical victory, but not strategic victory, more or less. At the end, it's still a major victory. I create more points compared to the Allies. But it cost me 715 and the Allies only 500. So money, it is bad. But I create more points, and this will at the end create in morale. I get 3 morale points and the Allies losing 30 morale points. Good. So I lost nearly 5,500 basic infantry and the Allies lost less, but heavy artillery also. Still, I get only for this taking this control points, I only getting points. If the next battle, I still start at the same position. It's not that I start with this 2 already conquered control points. You always start at the beginning. It's 50-50. And this battle was more or less limited because I had only 2 corps, so I only have 300 supplies because 1 corps give you 150 supplies. The first battle I had 3 corps, so I had 450 supplies. Good. So the Allies lost this day 30 morale points. I get 15 morale points. I was able to destroy 1 star in Arras, but not more. And I think this is first enough. If you really want to see more, let me know. And I need time, and I think there's maybe still more I can explain in the future. Thank you all. See you next time. Take care. Bye bye.